Could the Kansas City Chiefs be making a trade for Calvin Ridley of the Tennessee Titans? We'll discuss that and more coming up on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We also have some comments from Andy Reid to get to on what he had to say about a potential trade for a wide receiver. We'll talk about all that in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for stopping by. If you want the Chiefs to trade for a wide receiver, it doesn't necessarily have to be Calvin Ridley, but if you want anybody out there to come to Kansas City via trade before that deadline, like today's video, let your voice be heard. If you want Brett Veach and company to make a move, then go ahead and tell them. Let them know. Hit that like button, and we'll get started with today's show. So, according to a new report, Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley is disgruntled and may request a trade from the Tennessee Titans. And if you recall, he hasn't been with the Titans too long. Was just signed there this offseason after previously being traded to the Jags, began his career with the Falcons. Remember, he had to sit out a year due to violating the league's gambling policy, and had a pretty nice bounce-back year with the Jags last year. Kind of off to a slow start to 2024 there with Tennessee and their lethargic offense. So what about the idea of bringing him to Kansas City? Let's set the scene for you here with this report from Last Word on Sports. Disgruntled star wide receiver Calvin Ridley may demand a trade. He may need a new start despite signing a $92 million contract for the next 4 years. Ridley probably wants a trade since he wants to put himself in the best position to secure a championship rather than being with a team that's rebuilding. Tennessee trading Ridley could give them the draft capital they need to give Will Levis a new homegrown supporting cast. Ridley is getting older, so he might not match the same energy as youngsters like Treylon Burks. Got me thinking for a second here. Now, who's a team that could use some wide receiver help that's looking to compete for a championship this year? I can't quite put my my finger on it. Who is that team? Oh, yeah. Can't say Chiefs. That might work. In fact, they're even mentioned as a potential trade destination for Calvin Ridley. Here's more from Last Word on Sports. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been the same player as last year, but he could continue to get worse without Rashee Rice and Marquise Brown. Mahomes doesn't need a fastest receiver, but one to catch balls deep on the field along the sideline. Rookie Xavier Worthy is perfect for slant route situations, while Ridley is the man for the deep threat. This makes a ton of sense for Kansas City here. And you think about it, Calvin Ridley's not that old either. He's only 29. And what have we seen from the Kansas City Chiefs with the players that they have worked with over the years and even recently with maximizing their capabilities? Did anybody think Juju was going to do what he's been doing the last few weeks? Kareem Hunt. Everybody thought that he had nothing left in the tank, and he's been fantastic. This is the bread and butter of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, is taking guys that maybe are struggling or forgotten about and then getting them to reach another level. And that's exactly what they could do here potentially with Calvin Ridley if they were to make a trade. So what could a trade look like? Well, if Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs are valued at about a third-round pick, then I would think you could probably get Calvin Ridley for about a fourth-round pick. That doesn't sound like a whole lot. You do have to take on the contract and all that, but this could be worth your while potentially if you're the Chiefs. What do you think? Should the Chiefs trade for Calvin Ridley? Two options here. You can type T for trade or P for pass. Let us know in the comments section what you would do. The Chiefs are back on the football field this week as we got a Super Bowl rematch with the San Francisco 49ers. And all week long, our Chiefs Report channel is going to be battling the 49ers Report in a sub-battle. Chase Sr., the host of the 49ers Report, he said to me, Tyler, there's no way you guys are going to beat us in a sub-battle. No chance whatsoever. And I said, Chase, watch. We're going to prove you wrong. We're going to show why we have the best fans, not just in the AFC West, but in the entire National Football League. For daily Chiefs coverage you won't find anywhere else, lock us in. Let's beat the Niners on the football field and off the football field and win this sub battle this week. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. All right, let's get to know Calvin Ridley a little more. Previously played for the Falcons and the Jags, joined the Titans in 2024. His best season, you go back to 2020 when he was a second-team All-Pro selection. And many wondered, coming back from the suspension, how he would fare, what he had left in the tank, but he bet on himself there in Jacksonville last season with over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 76 catches, 13.4 yards of reception. He was really solid. This season, off to a bit of a slow start, just 9 catches for 141 yards and a touchdown, but you have to take into account that Titans offense is just terrible. Will Levis is not a very good quarterback. The offensive line sucks. So I don't really point much blame to Calvin Ridley for how things have gone so far this year in Tennessee. The question the Chiefs have to ask themselves, do you trust this wide receiver room? I know that they've done enough to get by the last few weeks, and they're still 5-0. Fives are good. But you think about this. You are one injury away from trouble in paradise with this wide receiver room right now. Juju and Xavier Worthy and Watson might be good enough if they stay healthy to get you through to where you want to go. But you can't afford to lose one more guy. So, with that in mind, is it time to go ahead and make a move and bring in a guy like Calvin Ridley potentially? I think that's a question you have to ask. Do you trust this receiver room right now? Do you guys trust this receiver room right now? Weigh in, let us know why for yes, in for no, if you have full faith in this group or not. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Whether it's a Chiefs game, maybe it's Sporting Kansas City, the KC Current, maybe you want to go see my Kansas Jayhawks play. Choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not with their seat views, get the visual. Then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Venmo. You certainly want to be on the lookout for their super deals. If you see a super deal, you can't pass that up. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Who wants to waste time doing that? Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. So one of the things that we've heard from the Kansas City Chiefs is that the plan in place since the Rashee Rice injury is to roll with what they got for now, evaluate things, see if the offense continues to get better. You think about what we saw in the Saints game, that was the best the Chiefs' offense has looked all season. And then, when we get to the trade deadline, decide from there. If they need to make a move, they will, or they could stick with what they got. The trade deadline is on November 5th, so you still have some time. You still have a few more weeks to figure this out. And Andy Reid, in his news conference today, was asked directly about whether or not the Chiefs are interested in making a move at the wide receiver position. And this comes on the heels of the update from Rashee Rice that it now seems highly unlikely that he could even potentially return for the postseason at this point. Where do things stand? Are the Chiefs in the wide receiver market? Andy said this: I think that helped Juju in his situation coming back in and jumping in. It helped McCole Hardman coming back, but I'm not saying other guys can't come in and help out. I don't think that's an issue. It's just going to take him a little bit longer to figure it out and get on the same page with Pat and all those things. It won't be quite as good as what you've seen with these other guys, and you have been in that. And I'm not saying that we need to bring in anybody else. You asked the question. I'm just not saying that I'm answering your question on that. So you're saying there's a chance. He's not saying that they won't make a move, but he's not saying he will make a move. They're remaining coy on this. And why would you lay out your cards out there. I mean, he's saying what needs to be said if you are going to make a trade. Ultimately, I think we're going to see how the next few weeks go. Twofold, right? How do these receivers continue to hold up? And two, if they stay healthy. And then we'll have a decision by the deadline. Do I expect the Chiefs to trade for Calvin Ridley tomorrow? No. I'd be surprised. Could they trade for Calvin Ridley or another receiver before the deadline? Absolutely. But I think it's a wait-and-see approach at this point in time. What are the chances the Chiefs make a trade at the trade deadline? What do you guys think? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10. Remember, the trade deadline actually got moved back. It's on Election Day this year, believe it or not. So this actually plays to the Chiefs' advantage that they have more time to figure it out, comparatively speaking to like a year ago if they were in this situation and would be more hard-pressed to make a quicker decision. So they have more time to figure it out. Do you think they're going to make a trade at the deadline? Scale it for me in the comment section. The chances the Chiefs make a trade, 1 through 10, weigh in and let us know. If you enjoyed today's show, if you're sitting there saying to yourself, man, I would love it if Andy Reid and Brett Veach made a trade for a wide receiver. If you're like me and you want to see a wide receiver trade, go ahead and like today's video. Let your voice be heard loud and clear. Send a message to Brett Veach and Andy Reid that you want to see this team make a move. Like the video. We certainly appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us, and we shall see you next time right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report.